Where's the story begin till you got here to Amelia
You
Island?
know what? I'd go back to 1977. I was Ohio River had frozen. My parents lived in Cincinnati, and they walked me out over this river that was.
Let me stop real quick. So you're an Ohio boy?
I grew up. Well, I lived in Cincinnati. I
Okay.
like Skyline chili. I like Grater's
Oh,
ice cream. Are we loving it? I mean, you got to try it.
I know this about you, John.
Yeah, no. Well, I can go into Southernisms, and you'll think that you're not sure where I'm from after a while. But no, yeah. So 1977, Ohio River froze. My dad said, "We're out. We're moving south." So we literally moved. He took a job in Lugoff, South Carolina, which you get 10 extra points if you can find Lugoff, South Carolina. It's right
never heard of
near
it.
somewhere between Camden and Columbia. So anyway, he worked for a manufacturing company there. He ran their sales group, and we moved down south in 1979. And one of his selling points to me was he knew I had like an interest in golf. He said, "Well, we'll move south and you can learn how to play." So like literally at age 7, I we joined a local club and I started playing golf. And I got the itch pretty early on. And you can never find me because I was always at the driving range, and I was always the kid like shagging balls in the woods because they let me shag them and then I could hit them for
Oh yeah,
free.
just hit him for free.
Yeah, yeah. So that was a bit of my childhood. Elementary, middle school, and then in eighth grade, I made the varsity high school team
Nice.
and played, and we won 3 state championships in Columbia, South
Nice.
Carolina. So it was good fun, and I had some weird affinity with military colleges. So leaving high school, I got into West Point, and I got into the Citadel, and West Point was way too cold for me.
Citadel, is that Jersey? Is
Charleston.
it's in South Carolina. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So the military college of South Carolina, and our home courses were going to be Kiowa and Wild Dunes.
Oh,
And
Kiowa.
so I figured,
Yeah.
all right, I think I could do this. And then you had the choice of going in the military. I did go in, but it wasn't mandatory. So anyway, did that. Graduated the Citadel in '94 with a business degree, and I knew that I was going to be in sales and marketing. That's what my dad did. I knew that was just probably what I was destined to do. And I started working for startup software companies.
Mhm.
And I got the real bug of entrepreneurism and starting something. And in software, we used to tease that we would create the problem and the solution you didn't know you had or needed, but we made a whole company out of it. And I worked for some really great entrepreneurs. And when Netscape, our audience is probably too young to know what Netscape is, but for those
That
of
was
us,
like the early,
the first internet browser.
first internet browser. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
So they went public. About a couple months later, we went public, and we didn't have quite the fanfare of that. But it was really great for me to kind of learn the idea of how do you sell things that don't exist to people and try to solve problems, and more consultative selling than just trying to be very transactional.
Yeah.
So we would help manufacturers optimize their manufacturing lines, how to run them more efficiently, and here I am, a 22-year-old trying to tell a 50-year-old plant manager.
You're doing it wrong.
He's looking at me like, "Boy, what do you say? I don't even know what you mean," And we're using all these acronyms, and then Y2K came around,
Yeah.
and like the whole world was supposed
Oh
to end.
man, I lived in Chicago during that
Yeah.
time, and everybody was just like the sky was falling with Y2K.
Yeah.
Coming. Yeah.
It was great for business then.
Yeah, I bet.
So, and then it gets better. So I did a couple startups. They did pretty well. And then one startup didn't do so well. And I had this feeling like I need to go work for a big company. So my first boss, John Sterling, said, "I want you to go work for Enron. They have this software division. And you can go work in there and see
Really?
if
You work for them?
see if you can get them to come buy us later." So
Oh
he
my
kind of planted me in there to see if some of this could ever
Were you
come
there
to be.
during the downfall?
I was there at the ultimate peak in January of '01. Used to ride up and down the elevator with Jeff Skilling from time to time.
You know, Jeff Skilling's brother was the weatherman on WGN in Chicago. Tom Skilling.
The only thing that ever came out of Jeff Skilling's mouth was something about how a weather derivative times this.
Yeah.
Something of this. He was like talking, I know it was English, I didn't understand
Right,
a word he
right.
said. So it's that kind of Harvard MBA thing going. But anyway, they imploded. I was fortunate enough, I got my master's degree working with them. And I said, you know what, I want to do something totally different. And one of my software engineers had a fraternity brother that was doing sales and marketing for luxury real estate developers in Arizona and Hawaii. Well, Arizona didn't really get me going, but Hawaii really got me going.
Yeah, why not?
My wife and I love to travel, and we'd been to Kauai once before. And the whole idea that I got into real estate was for the opportunity to go live and work in Hawaii. And
Which island?
Kauai.
Kauai. Okay.
Yeah. So that was 04? Yeah, 04, because I've been in the business 20 years. So I'll get to answer your question finally. I started in I started in Dallas, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
I did a Ritz-Carlton in Dallas. I've been there for about 2 weeks, and I realized almost immediately, oh my God, I'm in the pleasure business. I'm not in like trying to help a manufacturer save money. I'm trying to help the CEO of that manufacturer live a better life.
Right.
And so I figured out pretty quickly, like, all right, I'm good for this.
Yeah.
This is a really incredible way of helping successful people do well and build beautiful things and be part of that. So Ritz-Carlton in Dallas. Then my oldest son Jackson was in the oven, and so we said, well, let's go live on a tropical island. So the Bahamas called, and so
nice.
same company I was working for said, hey, we have a project in the Bahamas. Would you like to go there? So we went there. Didn't know anything about condos or marinas. I had to go do a bunch of research, and they're like, John, plan the marina and price it. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And I was like, all right. So I just called. It was a thing in the Bahamas. It's funny. You sell a $500,000 slip. And the only way to buy the slip is you got to buy the $3 to $5 million condo, so that the guy with a $10 to $20 million boat can park the boat in the slip. And then when you talk to him about the condo, he's like, I'll put my staff in the condo. I'm staying on the boat. And then that's when you realize there's a whole different world of money and wealth, and we're just here to serve, right? So that was kind of interesting. And then from there, I got the gift. I got the gift to go to Hawaii and ran 2 projects out there. One was a luxury land development called Kukui'ula. Maybe we can spell that phonetically for somebody to figure that out. Kukui'ula, it was the illumination of kukui nut oil. And in the old days in Hawaii, they would light the kukui oil. It was a red beacon. It was almost like a lighthouse. And this beautiful harbor with all this land around it became our project. And so we did that, and then the sort of beginning of what we call the late unpleasantness started, which was the downturn beginning in '08.
Mm-hmm.
And I had the really fortunate opportunity to go live in the Cayman Islands and work for a billionaire down there who wanted to build a new town. And you're like a new town? Like, yeah, a new town. Like, so they started with schools. They started with places for people to work. They invested well over $1 billion when I was there. It was really fascinating to kind of learn. I'd done condos, land development, and here I am learning how to build a new town, which brings a whole new set of equations from real estate development point of view, because you have land planners, you've got retailers. By the way, this retailer should be right next to this retailer because their synergy is great. And then we did residential planning, and it was great. Like, I learned a ton. We didn't sell a lot during then, but I got sort of this master's degree in land development and town making. And then I got a really unbelievable call to go work with a gentleman named Sid Kitson. Sid is a master developer out of he's out of Palm Beach Gardens, but our projects were in Naples.
Mm-hmm.
And one was going to be the first solar powered town in the United States called Babcock Ranch. And the other one was they bought an incredible piece of property that WCI, who was a big developer in Naples, before they unfortunately went out of business, had put gobs of money into this old tomato fields. It was 600 acres of tomato fields. They raised 6 feet. So imagine the amount of fill that requires.
Right.
And it turned out to be amazing. And Sid and the team bought it right. And that was like a recasting of a new gated golf course community called Talus Park. And it was a great success. And it was really interesting because that was like in 2012 to 2013, coming out of the downturn, trying to realize, like, what do you do to reimagine a project? And so that was a fun turnaround project. Babcock Ranch was really this kind of heady idea of first solar powered town. Autonomous transportation was a big part of it for Sid. He wanted to figure out new ways that people could move and get around and be safe. And then several hurricanes have now gone through there, and it's like one of the safest places in Florida. It's up high, it's got solar power, they never run out. And so that was great. All that kind of worked its way to an idea that I really wanted to get back into luxury development, and an opportunity came about, Crane Island, that brought me here to Amelia Island, which got us closer to the low country, right?
Right.
My family, my kids were going to be in middle school. I want to get them through middle school and high school. And this was a really terrific opportunity to come here and help be part of the development team at Crane Island.
But you still like Hawaii is still near and dear to your heart.
Yeah, we go back every year
Yeah.
to Hawaii.
And is it
yeah.
the culture? Like, what is it that what is it that you love about it so much?
It's everything. It's the weather. It's the
Yeah.
people. It's the music. It's the best sushi on the planet by
really?
far. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and then like, whether you believe in the Almighty or not, but it's like he's got his hand on the temperature dial. Like, who wouldn't want to live between 76 and 79 degrees?
I went there once when I was 20 or something like that, so it's been forever. But
Yeah.
I distinctly remember still to this day how clean it smells. It just smells so fresh, that place.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love it. We'd really love the people though too. It's weird. People from South Carolina, just a little bit of their mentality and a little bit of the Hawaiian mentality. There's similarity, and it's probably true anywhere, but just nobody will tell you when they woke up, but everybody will tell you what time sunset is. And it's like this cultural thing that everybody gravitates to watch the sunsets, to be part of that. And really you don't need an alarm clock there, because the roosters will wake you up in the morning. And you're so busy when you're there that you're exhausted at night and you just fall asleep. So.
Have you done the? Don't they have snow up there in their mountains in Hawaii?
On the Big Island.
Yeah.
So the Big Island has every ecosystem on the planet
That's
there.
incredible.
It's literally in about a 2-hour drive. You can go from desert to tropical to subtropical, and then literally, you could go make snowballs.
Yeah, you visited all the islands?
We should do that. I think Cabana Lane really should have a place there.
Oh, it's just like a satellite office?
I think so.
Yeah, sure.
Certainly we need to go visit. I know my oldest son, Jackson, would be all for it. He's a surfer. So.
I'd like to get back there and play golf. We played at Kanapali. Does that sound right?
Ritz-Carlton in Maui.
Yeah, and Maui, that's
Beautiful.
where we stayed. Yeah,
Plantation course.
yeah, we played there. That place was
Oh,
awesome.
Kanapali's on the way up to there.
Okay.
Yes.
I remember that course. A little bit of it anyway.
Yeah.
What's your favorite golf course?
Ever?
Yeah, just like in general.
I'd put Pebble Beach up there. I love the courses at Palmetto Bluff. The course at Palmetto Bluff is really great.
Mm-hmm.
And then the golf course at Kukui'ula.
Haven't played that one.
It's unbelievable. It's, again, we'll have to spell it for people, but Kukui'ula's resort golf course. It probably traverses several hundred feet as you go up and down, but it's all slope side right on the ocean. It's amazing.
I've never played Pebble, but I've played Spyglass, and I've played Spanish Bay.
Nice.
I think Spanish Bay doesn't get enough kudos. I think that's a dynamite golf course.
Yeah.
And I love the courses in Kohler, Black Wolf Run courses. Have you played those?
Nope, but
Oh my
there's some
gosh,
great ones
they're
there.
so good. But my favorite golf is desert golf in Scottsdale. If that's the last place I'd ever play golf, I'd play golf in Scottsdale.
Really? Wow.
I just love it. I love the fact that everywhere you go in that town is a panoramic view of the mountains surrounding you. I just think it's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever get attacked by a jumping choya?
Never got attacked by a jumping choya. You ever had a hole in one?
No, I haven't.
You come close?
I've come exceedingly close. I've made eagles on par fours, but I've never.
Nice.
I'm still, goose egg. I can't wait. I figure at some point here,
I got one when I was 19.
Right on.
Yeah.
I might quit if I get a hole in
I
one.
haven't sniffed
think
one.
I
I've
could
seen
do-
about a dozen of them. I've been in groups. I've seen about a dozen.
I've watched one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've only had one, and
Yeah.
I haven't sniffed one since.
Yeah.
I haven't sniffed one since.
You've been busy selling real estate.
I know. I'm trying
Yeah.
to. Our area, Fernandina Beach, Amelia Island. What I love about this area is within 15 miles, you have almost any lifestyle you want to live. You've got oceanfront, you've got ocean view.
Yeah.
You can just live on the island. You've got condo living, you've got townhome, you've got marsh. You go off island, you want a little more privacy, you've got acreage. Uh, I just think you've got almost any type of lifestyle that somebody would want is within 15 miles of the ocean.
Mhm.
I love it.
It's an incredible quality of life here,
Yeah.
and a lot of choices for all the things you just said. And I think the thing I love most about here too is just living in a town that has a great main street. You know,
Yeah.
that you feel connected to. You almost know every purveyor. You know every. You walk in to see Luca at Chow. You can walk in to see Natalie at Wicked Bow.
I'm going there tonight for dinner too.
You should.
I am.
You should go there several nights a week.
I'm going there tonight. I'm clamoring for the sweet and sour chicken.
It's amazing.
Oh my gosh, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, small town America it has real merit, right? You know, like I've lived in big towns, Dallas, Atlanta, Washington, D.C., but 30,000 people says volumes because it's big enough to still have stuff, but it's not so big that you feel like you're waiting in traffic, you know, every moment. And I know a lot of locals probably feel like it's so much busier than it used to be, but
It is. I mean, it is a little bit.
but
Yeah.
relatively speaking, this is an incredible way of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also love the seasons. That's what, coming from the Midwest, this isn't, a little different than Naples or Jupiter area. It's you get seasons here, which I love.
You do.
And you get all 4 seasons here. So
Yeah.
it's funny, growing up in the Midwest, when it gets down to 50s here and I go out to breakfast and you see these people all bundled up and it's so cold. I'm like, what? Just put a little pullover on. This is beautiful weather. What are you talking about?
I know people. Yeah.
The Floridians.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so talk to me about Crane Island. Talk to me about how you picked out that piece of property. How long it took for your search, and essentially, how did you know that property was fit for the vision that you had?
Well, actually, the real credit goes to Jack Hillman and his son. Jack, the dad, developed the plantation, lived here since the 70s. There were developers before us that tried to make Crane Island work, but they didn't have entitlements. They didn't have all the things you need to go develop. So Jack actually worked with this Charleston group to help them get the entitlements for the property. And then between the downturn and other reasons, they just kind of ran out of gas. So he kept keeping his eye on it. And then one of his dear friends and a flying buddy, Saad Wallan, they decided to acquire it in 2014. And for me, I was in 18, I was ready for a change. I was wanting to develop something from scratch. In Naples, I did a turnaround. The other one was this behemoth of a project that almost like will never get done, right? It'll be 30 years before it gets done. So there was a lot of attractive aspects of Crane Island in that it was going to be a little over 100 households on an incredible canopy of property. And it was a chance for me to work with all my heroes in the business from the Low Country. So the Low Country actually begins on Amelia Island and goes all the way up just north of Charleston. And there's 100 sea islands that make up this district called the Sea Island Chain. And many people, they fashioned it into the Low Country. So, and in some ways, it picked me. I'll never forget, I was on the beach in South Carolina and I got a phone call from a recruiter and they said, hey, we're looking for a sort of head of sales and marketing to go work this property. And my family and I said, yeah, let's do it. So we came down here and then fell in love with the Crane Island development, but then fell in love with this town. And it's what gets us almost to today because, this is a wonderful way of life. And I want to stay here and help take all the things that we've learned in the development world, which is really about taking land and creating community. How do you do that through architecture? How do you do that through what we call lifestyle programming? How do you take complex things and try to make it simpler for people? And I love new construction. So I've been around that for the last 20 years. I've probably watched over 1,000 homes get built. And so I love that sort of idea of creating community through homes and bringing people together.
What's changed in new construction over the years that you've been doing it in terms of how they're built, quality of built? Just what's changed? Has anything changed?
Part of it is not enough's changed, in my opinion.
Yeah.
We still build homes the same way we did 20, 30 years ago, or probably even longer, probably 70 years. So there are better technologies. There's better ways that the home can be climatized and the home can be operated. But the whole idea of building in the field, and like the framers come in, then the drywall people come in, and then well, not drywall, but electricians, plumbers, you do all the infrastructure, and you're kind of like watching it get built, and there's like 5 rainstorms that go through your house.
Right.
So for me, I've always said, God, there's got to be a better way to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And so Dawn, my wife, and I have built 2 modular homes.
Mm-hmm.
We did them in remote jurisdictions, one in South Carolina, one on Sanibel Island. And I'll never forget, people in Sanibel thought we were crazy because they actually had to drop, they come in boxes, right? You can go 15 feet by 60
It's
feet.
kind of a growing trend now. It's picking up steam.
Well, if you watch how complicated it is to get people to come in and start a home and finish a home,
Mm-hmm.
when it's all done in a climatized environment, using the same materials, the same 2x6 construction. By the way, the framer only has to get like 9 feet off the ground. He doesn't have to climb on the second
Mm-hmm.
story to put things on. It makes a lot of sense. So anyway, you asked a great question, what's changed? And some things have changed for the better, and there definitely are better materials that last longer. They're easy to maintain. But I think the methods still has room for a lot of improvement.
Mm-hmm.
And
In terms of what, expediting the shovel in the ground to hand the keys over?
Yeah.
I mean, getting the process done quicker?
yeah, like we built our home in Sanibel with modular, and granted, they make it in the factory, and that takes about 2 weeks. And then once it gets delivered, from the day we delivered it, working with Hickory Creek Builders, who did an
Mhm.
amazing job, Bruce Worth, probably 3 months. And then we returned the keys over, so that was great. There are better ways to do it.
Yeah.
I think we should always be thinking of that. Also, marketing has a lot to do with how homes are built and neighborhoods are built. So, I sort of tease, like, you live in the 428,000 to 495 neighborhood, right? And it feels fairly homogeneous. And you'll hear me kind of get on a soapbox here a little bit, that I think neighborhoods can be more rich when there's greater variety within a neighborhood, right? Crane Island's not a great example. It does go from like 2 million to 10 million. I'm talking about neighborhoods where you have $200,000 homes and $400,000 homes and $1 million home. And how does that fabric work? And it can work. But marketing sometimes, or production building, takes us out of that,
So just a shameless plug. If anybody's watching this that wants to buy in Crane Island, you can certainly reach out to me, and we can find you a home in Crane Island.
Yeah.
Okay, so talk to me a little more about Crane Island. There's 4 districts.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the Marsh District, we've got the River District, we've got the Forest District, and the Park District,
Correct.
right?
Yep.
So tell me about.
Yeah. So the big idea, and not that this is an exact analogy, but like New York and Paris, it's New York City, it's Paris. They have districts, right?
Mhm.
I wanted it to always be about Crane Island, right? And Crane Island would have different ways to live, and you could celebrate the river life. You could live on the marsh and catch the sea breezes.
So 4 lifestyles, essentially.
4 lifestyles and 4 kind of very distinctive ways to live, and almost personalities, Chris. So when I say that, if you lived in the park, there's an east side and a west side. If you lived on the west side, you might be more of a social butterfly than the people on the east side.
Right.
I would live in the park because it's low maintenance, and I got a 2-acre yard someone else mows, and my dog can go do its business, and I'll try to pick up. and anyway, it's almost like you almost can make offerings based on people's personalities. The marsh and the river give people the chance to really live out the back of the home in a very private, serene way. And it's not that those people aren't social, but they have the opportunity to be very private.
And a buyer has, if they enjoy sunrises, they can build the home where the sunrise. If they enjoy sunsets, they can have their home built where the sun sets.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And talk about the amenities over there. You had a little event for us over there, and it's just, you've got to just go ahead and talk.
So like old towns and villages would always have a meeting, like almost like a village green. And on that green might have been a church. There might have been a sundry store, where mercantile store, people would come. We didn't have really a place for both, but we had the idea we wanted a meeting house, a place for people to come and gather and watch sunsets, no matter where you lived at Crane Island. So the River House is that meeting house. It's the central gathering place of Crane Island. You can work out there. You can sit by a fire pit there. We do all kinds of singer-songwriter events. We raise money with Sean McCarthy for a songwriters festival there. We've had all kinds of visiting guest lectures come in on health topics, on just
For the public or for the community?
for the community, for
Yeah.
the neighbors. Yeah,
And you got that real sweet pool back there too.
a great infinity edge pool
my
that's
gosh.
heated year round. So
I think it's amazing.
we'll do the polar bear plunge there. It's-
Okay.
it's heated. It's okay.
Shrinkage. You never know.
That's it.
All right. So, anything else about Crane Island? Here's a question I got for you. Does the prospective buyer have to follow a certain plan, or can they bring their own?
No, just looking around my office here. We have a pattern book or design guidelines. So the big thing for us is we want to emulate old Fernandina. It's that simple. We wanted the homes here to look as good as the old Fernandina homes do, so that 50, 100 years from now, you wouldn't say, oh, that was that 2020 style, right? So everything we do has a historic bend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I will say, when you look at communities, architecture really can have a big influence, right? People buy downtown for the walkability and the architecture. People buy maybe in Amelia Park because it has a real bend towards classical architecture. That was really important to us. And it's reflective now in the price values of the community, that a historically architecturally focused neighborhood might see anywhere between 10 and even upwards of 30% appreciation or value difference than where basically you build whatever you want. Just come on in. We're just glad to have you.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that. They're just different approaches.
Right.
But if to really hold value long term, we think having the right land and the right design guidelines holds the value long term.
And let's take a look at this for a second. So I like the way you have this broken down. So talk about how you have the island broken down by these numbers and how you describe each part of the island and off island.
Well, I'm getting older, so I can't remember street names, but I could remember 1 through 8. No, you know what? So the whole thing, real estate for me is like an eye exam. You walk in, you kind of think you know what you want, but you're not sure. I don't know what you want, so I'm not sure. So through a series of questions, something like this allows us to really figure out, are you someone who might want to live downtown, and so you're going to gravitate to zone 1. And so conversation isn't always about the house. It's a lot about, how do you live your life? What do you like to enjoy? Or do you want to walk to dinner? Do you want to be able to bike to the beach? Where do you want to be? So this gives us a real simple framework of tying into different zones. It also ties in directly to our local MLS. So there was some just simplicity of this. If you live in those districts, anybody who lives here knows, we kind of look at 8th, 14th, and Fletcher, and those are like the big railroad tracks, and where do you want to be in between them?
What's your favorite part of the island? You have one?
I'm a downtown person. I like good urbanism, and I like the idea that I can walk and be near things.
Yeah.
I also adore Old Town. I think it's one of the real jewels of this island. Still being discovered and still being developed.
It kind of is, yeah.
Even after a couple hundred years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the north end.
Yeah, the whole north end, just in general, is great. But the south end, we've lived in the Amelia Island Plantation, and it's incredible with trail systems and amenities and all the things you can enjoy there.
So let's switch to the mothership.
I've been waiting for this. Like, what took you so long?
Are you going to put merch online?
We should.
You should put it online.
We should.
I mean, I can't tell you how many people, because I go to breakfast probably 4 days a week at Grumpy's up in Yulee, and I always walk in with I've actually seen you up there a few times, but I'm always, always wearing my Cabana Lane hat. And what's Cabana Lane? Oh, well, it's a new real estate company. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to do this, is because we just had our 1-year anniversary.
We did.
At Wicked Bow. Shout out to Wicked Bow, sweet and sour chicken. But no, let's talk about the mothership. We're located at 3381 South Fletcher.
Yeah.
It's an old surf shop.
Yep.
And I'd like to know the genesis of the name and the logo, because I'm a logo guy. I just love old school sports logos, and I just think your logo is really good.
Well, thank you for all that. Cabana Lane is, as much as anything, a lifestyle company. So we talk about the idea of real estate, design, and create. Everything we do is to help celebrate one's best version of their life, and we call that postcard living.
Mm-hmm.
And postcard living is really the fuel that drives everything that we do to help people, well, for us to learn and understand what you're trying to do, and then we put that in a real estate context so you can get there. But we really do spend a lot of time thinking about what's your best version of your day in life? How do you entertain? How do you celebrate life? Are you outdoorsy? Do you just sit in your room and watch TV and game or whatever?
Right.
All those things matter, and there's a lot of personalities out there. What we have been able to do, even in the short year, is grow from a real estate company. We now have a licensed general contractor who's an amazing woman, master's degree of architecture, published designer, whose husband's been building homes for 20 years.
Nate
the Great.
Nate the Great. He's a good
Catherine
dude.
Lott. Yep. So now we've got that component. And I really think our ability to help people solve for whatever it is they're trying to solve, Chris. So whether it's, I need to remodel a bathroom, I've got this tired home I need to sell, but I don't know what to do or how to explain it to people. Well, we'll help sellers imagine what the next buyer may want. Or if we have a buyer client, we help them understand what it is to develop that.
That's why I think this first episode podcast talking about Crane Island, John Hillman, Cabana Lane is so important because there's a lot of great competitors on the island that we do business with and compete with. But what I love about Cabana Lane is that the locals and the people considering moving here need to learn that we're literally a one-stop shop brokerage.
I like to say we're the curiosity shop of real estate, right?
If you come to Cabana Lane, and we can provide everything for you, from residential purchase, condo purchase, rehab, design build.
And one of the key things in all this is we don't do it ourselves, right? Mm-hmm. We have a great team of a network of builders,
right, tradesmen.
We've got a favorite tree farm.
Mm-hmm.
We've got all kinds of tradespeople that we celebrate, brick masons and iron workers and
mm-hmm.
different people. And so we think a little deeply about it, right? There's a lot of groups that are just about the transaction, and then you may or may not ever hear from that realtor ever again.
Right.
In our case, when you buy and sell with us, we actually give you the Cabana Lane card, and you're a member of our beach club. We want to see you. If you live in Yulia and you want to drive to our back lot and park and go next door and grab drinks and go to the beach.
And borrow our bikes.
Right. And buggies and all that, right?
Yeah.
So in full disclosure, if you buy and sell with us, you're stuck with us for life. I don't know why other people don't do that, but we're pretty sincere about it. Now, to answer your other question, I give Don full credit on the name and the brand identity. So think about it. If you're under a cabana, maybe with a drink,
mm-hmm.
you're feeling pretty good about yourself, right?
You get an extra ultra?
Yeah, we do somewhere.
You got an extra one?
Yeah, right there. Yeah. Thank you.
I'll pop one.
All right, good. So we'd offer Jackson one, but he's still too young.
Soon.
So
careful what you wish for.
the idea of cabana as an experience of joy, something when you're under cabana, you're on vacation, you have that mindset. That was in Don's mind. And Lane is a home. And what if your vacation and your home were actually the same thing? Mm-hmm. And it's really that simple. Mm-hmm. That was her vision behind the name, is we want to bring you the vacation feeling to your life every day. The logo we think it's striking. It's memorable.
Very memorable.
The blue of the water, two blues represent almost the Caribbean and mm-hmm. Hawaii in our journey in life. And you have to ask Don what the red stands for, because I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, this is great, because I had somebody call me that lives on First Avenue.
Yeah.
Like 2 months ago. Are you guys a real estate company? And I'm like, oh yeah, we're here. So that's one great thing about doing this and letting people know who we are. That people that right on South Fletcher and First Avenue are just starting to learn who we are. So this is going to really get the word out and let people know that Cabana Lane is a real estate company right on South Fletcher. So
that's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's good.
Yeah. And it's just tip of the iceberg. I think we should sell the apparel. In fact,
Oh.
our whole retail element is yet to really come into full swing. Like there's a lot of other ambitions, both in
The merch is great. Like, great job. Like, who's your provider?
we enjoy every year going to what's called Surf Expo, and it is all these great providers that provide apparel to a lot of resort destinations.
But it's like quality. It's not like 100% cotton.
Just yours. Yeah, we get the cheap stuff there.
I get the best stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Well,
it's
plus it's
hilarious.
like 3 different outfits to fit you, so you know.
Double XL, baby. Okay, so I've got some questions for you.
Okay.
All right. We're going to do
Is this the speed round?
a speed round.
Okay, all
Yeah,
right,
it's
do it.
speed round. We're going to do 11 questions with John Hillman. You ready? Favorite movie?
Oh gosh. I mean, I could say Caddyshack, but it's really not my favorite. I just like to quote it a lot.
Yeah, you know what we used to do as kids? We watched that movie so much as kids.
Yeah.
And we'd get 4 or 5 guys that we grew up with, and we'd all put characters' names in a hat, and then we would draw the names out of the hat, and we would have to say the lines. So all 5 of us were.
Yeah.
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 It's a very quotable movie.
Maybe the 86 Masters highlight reel.
Oh God, that's awesome too. I still put that on every now and then.
It's almost as good as Rocky.
Yeah. So you're gonna go with Rocky? Is your favorite movie?
Golly, Chris, you're putting me on the spot. I mean, I love Polar Express too, right? So it depends on time of year. All right, next question.
Jordan or LeBron?
Man, that's a tough one. We talk about this all the time in my house.
Oh, really? Well, it's a generational question.
There's no greater competitor than Jordan, but LeBron for his consistency and his endurance.
Let me help you make your decision a lot easier.
Okay.
All right. LeBron's played 8 more years than Jordan, and still doesn't have as many 30-point games.
Oh, wow. Oh, you're going to cherry pick it off. Okay.
Just saying.
All right.
All right. Who would you want to play you in a movie?
Well, I'll go this way. Everybody thinks that I somehow look or act like Steve Martin, so I want Steve Martin to play me.
Yeah. I never ever, until you just said that.
I had a guy come in the other day. He's
Holy
like,
cow.
"Do you play the banjo?" And I'm like, "All right, I know where this is going."
You put the thing on your head with the
Yeah, the arrow.
Roxanne.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh,
that's one of the few songs I will sing out loud. Like,
that is a great song.
it's a great song. Yeah.
First job.
Golf cart guy. I worked at illegal at Spring Valley Country Club. They used to pay me under the table.
I made pizzas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved it. I picked up the driving range. I was chugging balls. Yeah.
Favorite band.
Oh. Damn. I have a big range of music.
I do too. So it's a tough question, but I do too. But there's one particular one that stands out.
You know, I
got back. I know.
I'm gonna throw it to South Carolina roots. Hootie.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. But then I love all kinds of jazz music too.
Yeah,
So
I do too. You Steely Dan guy? You like
a little
Steely?
bit. Yeah. I like a little Van Morrison too.
Oh,
so
Van Morrison's so
yeah.
good. Stevie Ray Vaughan.
We could go on for hours. Like, yes.
Zeppelin. I got into my Zeppelin kick
Yeah.
at the gym
I
lately.
even throw a little NXS every once in a while.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They're good.
Throwback, little 80s. My son, he likes all the like Queen and some other like really throwback stuff. Yeah.
It's awesome. All good stuff. Biggest pet peeve.
Complainers.
Complainers.
You know, don't come with the problem. Come with the problem and the solution.
You know what my biggest pet peeve is? Walking into a gas station to pay for your gas, and there's nobody in there except one person in front of you, and they've got 8 lottery tickets and 10, they sit there for 15 minutes wanting all their scratch off checks, and I'm like, oh my God.
That's legit though.
That's my
legit.
pet peeve. I can't,
Yeah,
I can't stand that.
Do you have road rage after that? or-
No.
Yeah.
No, but I walk in and the place is empty, and except one person in front of me that's got 20 lottery tickets in their hand. That I'm like, oh, nice timing, Chris.
Bless their hearts. They just
Bless
can't-
their hearts, exactly. One thing you need in the fridge at all times.
Pimento cheese,
Really?
100%.
Oh, nice.
I couldn't live without it.
Unsweetened iced tea.
I think my son would differ. Well, first of all, you can never make sweet tea from unsweet tea.
No.
It's got to be made on the spot. Like the sugar's got to go in the hot water. You know this, right? Well, you wouldn't know
I
this.
don't know that because I really don't care for
There's
sweet
not
tea.
there's not enough sugar on the planet to make unsweet tea sweet tea. But you wouldn't care because you don't like. Yeah, I forget it. Keep going.
Okay. Favorite hobby?
I hate to say it, work.
Okay.
I love what I do. I actually enjoy pole sawing. Most people don't know that about me.
So we were talking about that earlier.
I secretly really love the idea of cleaning up a lot. I actually like driving my zero-turn mower. One of my favorite closing people here on the island. I'll leave her nameless, but she and I both
Next door?
No, because she doesn't do this, but she's cool too. She and I will send photos of each other when we're on our mowers with a drink in our hand. It's like a back and forth thing that we do. So, but that's a good, happy place.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Hidden talent.
Um, ooh, that's a good one. I mean, the pole sawing thing, most people don't know about. I'm a bush hogger too.
I can juggle.
I can juggle.
Okay.
I do
That's
it in the
my- that's my
grocery
hidden
store. It
talent.
drives my family and my wife nuts when I do
Juggling?
that. Juggling. I can play 3 guitar songs really good.
Really?
Yeah, only 3 though.
Which one? What can you play? Good.
A little Zach Brown, Free. I play the intro to ding 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 ding
All right.
ding ding. And then oh my God. Allman Brothers,
Which one? Melissa?
Sweet Melissa.
Oh, I love that
I
song.
can really jam on that one pretty
song's so
good.
good.
And then a little Hotel California. Yeah. So if you're down for those 3, we can have a little sing along.
I'd like to hear Sweet Melissa. You pull off Sweet Melissa.
I wish I had my guitar
absolutely-
here. I'd
I
do it
absolutely
for you. That would have
love
really
that
probably made
song.
the episode.
It's such a good song.
My family's heard it so much that they're like, "Really, Dad?"
Again.
But I did learn the Zach Brown Free from this kid in Atlanta on YouTube. He was really good. Great teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can do anything on YouTube.
You speak a foreign language?
Very limited Spanish, but I
Mhm.
took 5 years of it. Yeah.
Bueno.
Yeah.
That's about all I know.
Yeah. Donde el baño?
Venga aquí.
Más cerveza.
Venga aquí. Oh, más cerveza. Secret snack.
Well, it's not a secret. I just freaking love pimento cheese.
Okay. All right. We're going on repeats now?
I mean, it could be.
Come on, dazzle me. John.
No, it could be like the guy from Forrest Gump talks about shrimp. Like
Shrimp,
you know,
okay.
I could do pimento cheese like 1,000 different ways.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm
Are you-
not really a snack person, but if I had to pick something, I'm a sucker for sour cream and onion ruffles.
I brought a snack
You
just
did?
for this episode. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. This is also a favorite. By the way, a plug for visual comfort lighting because we're a dealer.
Okay.
These are key lime cookies.
Oh, key lime. I love
Key lime cookies. So I think maybe should we?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, we have an abundance of these. So if you're looking, for your next realtor, see if they got key lime snacks.
All right.
Pretty good.
How do you take your coffee?
Black.
Straight black. You probably have heard this, but I've never had a cup of coffee in my life.
What?
It rattled Meredith.
Wow.
I've had sips. I've
You
never
don't
had-
like it?
I just didn't grow up. My parents didn't grow up in a house where people drank coffee.
You never been hungover? You never needed it?
Oh, I've been hungover a few times.
Do you drink Mountain Dew or something to like get you going?
What do I do? No, I just drink a lot of orange juice.
That's good.
Yeah, just drink a lot of orange juice.
All right.
Those days are of yore. Hangovers are just too difficult to deal with now.
Yeah,
You just
it's
can't
not
deal
worth it.
with it. Okay, last question. Where do you want to go that you've never been before?
Oh, easy. Norway.
Oh, cool. What's the capital of Norway?
Oslo?
There you go. Nice one.
Right. If you took the coastline of Norway, you could probably go around the earth. I think it's a couple times.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a little fun fact there, right? Yeah.
Why Norway?
Magical. I just think I just think the environment. I think being that far north. I think if you go in the summer, it'd be really fascinating, and if you go in the winter, just bundle up. But
But
yeah,
you don't know anybody that's been there. It's just
no, I've known several people to go there.
okay.
And then I listen to Calm. It's an app that you can listen to, and there's sleep stories. One of my favorite sleep stories is about Norway.
Oh, okay.
And it's I've never gotten all the way through it, but it's just fascinating. The light, the just natural environment there is so incredible and still very untapped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to go back a little bit. Tell me about the website that we have for if you want to furnish your house. What was that website again?
So in our design services,
Yeah.
we have a platform where there's over 300,000 line items, furniture, artwork, lighting. You could go search the whole Southern Living lighting collection, and it's in there. So we have a great relationship with a group called All Mine.
All Mine. Right.
Yeah. So All Mine allows us, if you're buying a condo and you need to remodel it and you got a $30,000 furniture budget, we can go build that budget inside of All Mine. You
Right.
can pick and choose colors, hit one button, and the whole thing gets ordered.
And
it's
it just
really
gets
fantastic.
drop shipped.
They'll actually, there's an aggregator in Jacksonville, and they put it all into their warehouse, and then when you're ready, it all gets sent to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're 1 year in at Cabana Lane, and a lot of good years coming. And thanks for stopping by. Well, actually, thanks for having us at your Crane Island. Would I call this the corporate?
Well, this used to
Center?
be, actually, in truth, this used to be the old county maintenance office.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so if you were rehabbing a vehicle, you would come here, and we put some pretty good lipstick on it. And it's been our home for the last 6 years. And yeah, you're in the studio here at Crane Island.